so good to see your faces. And we are recording. So welcome again to our Monday evening call. It is Monday, August 30th. I can hardly believe that it is the last Monday in August. And I'm sure many of you are in the same boat as I am. You guys, today we're going to talk about attracting our mentors. And for the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about our mentors, how to find our mentors, and how to just dig into learning more about them. And now this week, we're going to be talking more about attracting our mentors. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen. And what I'm going to do is play the video of Natalie Workman, part of the Cardone 10X team of attracting our mentors. Bear with me a second here. Let's see. All right, here we go.
Once you've identified the specific areas in your life where your mentors can provide impact, and you've taken the steps necessary to deep dive into their body of work that directly relates to your individual goals, you now have the opportunity to attract those mentors into your life. Let's talk about what it means to attract a mentor. There's nothing better or more significant to a mentor than having someone express and clearly articulate the impact the mentor has made on their life. People hope to become mentors because they desire the ability to impact the lives of others. They want to know that the work they're doing has meaning, it's applicable, and it truly is making a difference. There is something extremely special about someone else validating that work, especially if they've taken the steps to apply it to their life and it's worked. So if given the opportunity, the best way to attract a mentor's attention is to already have those stories ready to share. Why is it important to have a story? Think about the mentors you've identified and ask yourself, what is the full impact they've made on me? What specific areas of my life have I applied their work? How has their work grown me personally and professionally? And finally, what are the lessons I'm still trying to implement? Knowing the answers to these questions is essential in building your story of impact. If you want to share the story of impact with them, you must be able to articulate your experiences in a clear and concise manner. This is how you ingratiate yourself with your mentors, by demonstrating massive respect and sheer admiration for their work, because you took the time and made the effort to apply that work in your life. Your story should be specific, the tone should be personal, and the message should be concise. You should be able to let anyone know at any time that the work of your mentor has clearly changed your life. Be prepared to share your success story that attests to the truth of your mentor's message. You can develop the story by clearly articulating the answers to the three following questions. Number 1, what is the main lesson or lessons you've taken from their body of work? Number 2, how have you applied these lessons in your life? And number 3, what is the overall impact these lessons have had on your life? At the end of the day, when sitting down with a mentor, an honest and clearly communicated story about the positive impact you have experienced in your life will absolutely move your mentor. Bringing about positive change in the lives of others is, after all, why mentors do what they do. So tell your story. Let your mentor know they've had a distinct and meaningful impact on your life, and share how this impact has been amplified as you share your story with others.
Once you've identified a mentor and you've gone deep into their body of work and have clarity on how it can impact your goals, the next step is to attract them into your life. In this activity, you'll create a story about your mentor's impact on you and what you've done with their work. Identify one of the mentors you've been studying. Take some time to develop your story by filling out each section below with as much substance and examples as possible. Who is your mentor? What have you taken from their body of work? Have you applied it to your life? What is the overall impact they've had in your life? By creating your story for each of your mentors, you'll have the tools necessary to begin your outreach efforts to gain their attention and potentially find the unique moment of direct communication.
Okay, so that was how to attract our mentors. And I have a story that I want to share with you guys. And it was something that was very profound that happened to me a couple of days ago. And it was amazing to see how this lesson of attracting mentors just came into life for me. A few things that I just want to point out with this lesson before I tell you that story. It talks during this week 6, this attracting mentors worksheet. It says that there's nothing better or more significant to a mentor than having someone express and clearly articulate the impact the mentor has made on their life. And I thought to myself, how would I feel if someone came up to me and told me how they felt about what I did for them? And the honest answer is, oh my gosh, I would be just completely floored. I would be so honored. And so that was going through my head as I was reading this, as I was attempting to, do this lesson. And finally, what are the lessons I'm still trying to implement from what I've learned from this mentor? So I'm going to share a little bit more about that with you guys. And knowing that our stories should be specific. When we talk to our mentors, that the tone should be personal and the message should be concise. So that was all rolling through my head, you guys. And I had the complete honor of going to Cabo this last weekend with a group of amazing people that earned the incentive trip. And although not everything went as planned, I knew in my mind that I was hopefully going to have the chance to meet and talk to this mentor. So on the way, in the airplane on the way to Cabo, I was listening to Carrie Dickey's audiobook, The View from Venus, a manual for men and women who want to elevate the great profession of network marketing. Put a 1 in the chat, you guys, if you have read this book or listened to this book. So I listened to this book when I first started in network marketing, first started with this company about 4 years ago. And it was an amazing book. It made so much sense to me, but I was still new. I was still felt in over my head about a lot of things. And then when I listened again a few days ago on the way to Cabo, so many things popped into my head about things that she was so spot on with network marketing. And so the answers to a few of the questions on our homework this week: what have I taken from her? Authenticity. She's a hard worker. Consistency. Doing the process. Stick to it. Always be coachable. You'll be bad before you're good, and you'll be good before you're great. That's a classic Carrie Dickey line, right? That and the importance of 3-way calls. Those are big takeaways that I just took from her after listening to her audiobook again. How have I applied these things that I've learned from her? Consistently showing up, right? Hardworking, building my story. It's always an ongoing thing to build our stories. Number 1, learn. Number 2, do. Number 3, reassess and repeat. And relaunching our businesses when needed. And number 3, the overall impact she's had in my life. I've been able to meet her before. And so meeting her in Cabo was awesome, but I had met her before. But just knowing that proximity is power also, right? Tony Robbins says that too. Proximity is power. And knowing that I have her cell phone number, that I could reach out to her if I need to, that is pretty powerful. And that she is approachable, and knowing that she truly cares about people is huge. So I had the opportunity to meet her by the pool, or see her by the pool. Right away, I thought, oh my gosh, I have to go over to her and tell her what the impact she's had on me was. And she was so gracious and so amazing right away when I came over to her. I introduced myself to her again because I wasn't quite sure, wanted to make sure she remembered me. But I told her, and in my head too, I'm thinking, okay, I need to be concise. I need to be clear to her. I don't want to stumble on my words. And so I told her that I had listened to her audiobook, the same story I just told you guys. I listened to her audiobook when I first started in network marketing. And then I listened again on the airplane. And I just told her the impact she's had on me. And it was just, I mean, a few minutes. And honestly, you guys, I can't even remember all of what I said to her. And I feel like I wasn't as articulate as I really wanted to be. But the bottom line was that I knew I needed to be short and sweet and just tell her that she had a massive impact on me, and she continues to, and I know she continues to have a massive impact on all of us. And the cool thing was, in listening to her audiobook again, she talks about her mentors. She talks about a mentor named Marianne Williamson that talked about how your playing small does not serve the world. And as we are liberated from our own fear, our presence liberates others. Guys, there's so many powerful, powerful keys in her audiobook. So I just urge you, a side note, I urge you, if you haven't listened to her book, go to the onepersonbigdifference.com website, go under launch, and you will see down at the bottom, there is a link to her audiobook. So go and listen to that. Even if it's been a while since you've listened to it, listen to it again, take notes. And so I was just, again, completely honored to meet her, to be able to tell her what impact she's had on me, and to be able to, commit to learning, or to how do I plan to amplify myself as the absolute best example of her work, right? I learned just about making phone calls. I haven't been great about making phone calls in this business. I've been like a texter, doing a lot of messages through Facebook Messenger. And so I know that's something that I can do to improve. And third-party validation, right? That is such a key to our business. It's the second T in ITT, that team, getting our team involved. Third-party validation, she talks a lot about that in her book. And just those little things that we've heard before that I heard again, just were spot on and just so powerful for me to hear. So that was my takeaway from our week 6 homework. And I hope that this resonated with you a little bit. I hope that you are thinking about those mentors that you've learned from and how you can attract them into your life. And really, when I first got started and after listening to her book, I did take a lot away from what she said, right? And that led me to where I was at that incentive trip to be able to meet her. And so just so powerful to have that influence in our business, right? With Carrie Dickey, our master Pro 11 overlord, or however we want to call her. So anyways, huge lesson there. So I hope you guys take the time and really dig into attracting your mentors. And next, what we're going to do is I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go over some announcements. All right, here we go. And okay, so tomorrow is Tuesday, August 31st, and it's our Flip the Switch opportunity call with Jason Kokenzie. He's an Elite Pro 8. And that is at 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Mountain, and that is on the official LifeVantage Facebook page. So before you go to bed tonight, invite a few people or more to that opportunity call tomorrow night. Then before Thursday, I just want to give you a little information. On Wednesday, we do have at 5 p.m. Central, those premier distributors, Pro 4 It Up, we do have a premier call at 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain. So watch out for that. There is going to be something announced on that call September 1st, Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central that you do not want to miss. So make sure you're on listening to that. This Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Central is Amy Homewood, and she is actually coming to Sioux Falls soon next month. So I'm super excited to be able to invite to this Thursday webinar to have some local people hear her online and then hopefully to hear her in person. So that's Thursday night. Our LifeVantage Academy, if you haven't registered for September, please get online tonight and do that. Saturday, September 18th from 9 to 1 local time. And I know in Sioux Falls, we are going to have Brandon Cunningham, so we're so blessed to be able to have him. We do have a virtual option as well. So which city will you be in? Type it in the chat. Let us know if you're registered. If not, please do that. Get registered right away. Our global convention, you guys, it's coming so quickly. It's October 7th through the 9th in Salt Lake City. There's still some spots available for the live attendance. So please get on and attend that one live with us. I will be there, so I hope to see you there, but you can also attend virtually as well. make sure you're checking your inbox for emails from LifeVantage on how to, there's a Monday morning email that was sent out this morning. Different announcements are in that email as well. Performance Club, you guys, 2 new enrollments, either customer or distributor, and 100 in new people combined will get you into the Performance Club. It is not too late to get into that club. We have 2 days left, maybe 1.5 days left to get into that Performance Club. And bonus pool qualifiers, we do have a Facebook Messenger group. If you're not in that group and you want to be in that group, different ideas, tips, advice as far as to get to 5 for 500, let us know so we can get you in there. We want everybody to be in the bonus pool. And then if you don't already know about the Business Center changes, Sean and Michelle did an amazing training last week regarding how now at Premier.
All right, Susie. Stephen and Rebecca, if you guys
can a second Business Center. If you are not muted, if you don't mind muting yourself, and that is all.
Sorry, Susie, I don't have control, so I can't help you out.
I think I got it. All right, that is the announcement. So last but not least, just commit to doing this homework for the 10X your life series. You guys, this I want you to prepare for a little bit more intensity as we go forward. But if you can dive into mentors and really dig deep into attracting your mentors, that's going to just empower you going forward. So please commit to that. We are stronger together with this. And I know now we're ending a little early, but we can start the Zoom after the Zoom. Next, what I'm going to do is turn it over to Miss Issa Dinerman, and Issa is going to introduce one of her team members who is just a rock star. So Issa, take it away.
Thank you so much, Susie. I love this section on mentors, and I hope that all of you have as well. And for me, I just realized that a lot of the people that I think it's important to really get in touch with the fact that a lot of people that we look up to as mentors, they're real people just like us. They have their struggles, they have their insecurities. So I think it's important for me. It's been a lesson in not idolizing someone, recognizing they're on the same path as I am, and it's humanizing all of us. And so that, I think when we learn that, allows us to be more compassionate towards other team members that are maybe a little bit behind in personal growth. So, I mean, this is such a great exercise, everyone. And I encourage everyone to really keep thinking about this, because I think it's really important, because the more that we dial into who we are attracting, the more you dial into it, they will show up for you. And it might be someone that you least expect, that you see a lot. And you're like, wow, you've been my teacher. So anyway, with that, I just want to introduce tonight, thank you, Susie, for the great information. And Akili Worthy is one of my new team members, and she's always ready to step up into anything that we ask. So I said, would you like to lead the discussion after the discussion? And it was really, it's really awesome how we met. We met on social media, and I immediately was attracted to this woman. She has a very magnetic presence. She is very clear and concise in letting you know what she's saying. There's never a question about what she means about something, and I love that. So Akili, and she's my teacher every day. So Akili, I'm so excited. She also, everybody, was a former announcer on the radio, a spokesperson on the radio. So she's got the smooth voice, like Carrie Dickey was mentioning last week on the call when she spoke. So Akili, I'm excited for you to present this tonight, and really ask the team that's all present here questions, because you've been one of my mentors, and I'm so grateful for you every day.
Well, thank you, Issa. I feel the same way about you. That is so awesome. I do love everything that we're studying here. So this is truly an honor to be able to talk about it and go a little deeper. So let's dive right in. I loved being able to really get into more of the nitty gritty with the mentors. For the first activity, we were really supposed to learn a bit more about our mentors' content footprint. And that's not typically something that I do. I'm not going to look at your Instagram and your YouTube and all these other components. I have a very specific way that I learn. I'm very auditory. So if you have an audiobook, or a podcast, that's the best way to grab my attention. So I thought it was interesting to go to these other areas and kind of get maybe a more well-rounded view of some of the people that I was considering as a mentor, and to also understand a little bit more about their underlying messages. So before I jump into some of the stuff that I learned, I love to, hear from you guys in terms of what your takeaways were. Maybe if you found a new mentor, or really, what your aha or lollipop moment was from the exercise. Who would like to jump in? Somebody's going to do it. It's 41 people on the call. Don't make me call people out. I will do that because I know everyone's done their homework. Oh, it's going to happen. It's going to be one of the Leverance.
Boom.
That came right up on the screen. Like, who is it going to be? Okay. No one wants to share about their mentors. Was it that personal, that intimate that no one wants to give any feedback? All right, good deal. Thank you.
This is Michelle, and I have been following these mentors for years, but I was shocked at how I wasn't following them on all the platforms they have. And I was like, wow, I just can't, I was really shocked by that I didn't, like Jordan Adler's one of my mentors, and I actually worked with him for 10 and a half years directly. And I can't even believe I'm like, wasn't subscribed to his YouTube channel. I was like, that's crazy. So that was pretty eye-opening to me that I wasn't getting all of them. I was just taking a piece or a portion, and it's only when it fit my life. And now I see them all the time because they're posting things and I have my notifications on. And so it's like, I feel like I have more of them, even though I'm not physically with them.
Yeah. And isn't that nice now that you'll get those alerts and those updates, and it just allows you to, like somebody said in the post, be more immersed in who they are and get a little bit more from them. Love that. Thank you, Michelle. Who else wants to share?
I'll go.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Tanya. Hi.
Hi.
One thing I've taken from this exercise, you guys, I've never gone through this process of like really narrowing down who I consider my mentors to be. And I feel like as I was pressing unmute, it's kind of relatable to when you are describing who your avatar is, because if you don't get dialed in to exactly who you want to attract, you're not going to send the message that's true to you, right? And you're not going to attract the people that you're supposed to. And I think the same goes for our mentors. If we don't really narrow down and do the work with this, and we're always listening to the next podcast or YouTube video or buying the next book that someone tells us to get, before you know it, and I've been there, you have a pile of books next to you and you've read the first chapter of 5 of them, but you haven't read an entire book. So I think it's a really important exercise. And I found too that when I find those people I truly love, I love getting into groups they have on Facebook. I love being a part of, maybe they have a class that they do in Clubhouse. That's a really, really great way to kind of step up and maybe raise your hand and have intimate conversations with them. And then when you reach out and you send them a message and they respond, you're like, oh my gosh, they responded. It's always so exciting when you get a response back from someone that you admire and you respect so much. So if they have Facebook groups, I think that's a good way too, to kind of build that relationship. Because I know I've had those. I was thinking of someone today. I love Brooke Castillo. I just love her wit. I love her. She's so smart and I love how she teaches. And this morning I was listening to her podcast and I'm like, I think she and I would be great friends. So now I need to find a way to reach out to her and have all those avenues and just be a part of her world a little bit more. So that's
You can
tip.
do it. Just go ahead and message her. Go ahead and do it through the life coach school and go ahead and knock it out. Brooke is awesome. So yeah. Thank you, Tanya. That's awesome. Who else wants to jump in after Tanya?
I'll share. I'll kind of piggyback off Tanya. And it's
All
funny
right,
you mentioned the pile of books. I I went through a long period of life where I kind of stopped reading or stopped connecting. And this year I've gotten back into what my love is, which is get through 12 books in a year. And so far I'm actually ahead of schedule, which is awesome. And one kind of the mentors that both for Megan and I that we both have done a lot with is Dave Ramsey. And I've just got one book left, which is The Legacy Journey, which I think ties in well with this 10X concept of what's your legacy going to be? You know, how are you going to use this to level yourself up to that next level that you want to achieve to let this be your legacy? And so he just has a lot of interesting content in a lot of different places that I already know about. But that's the last piece of print that I have to finish. So that's on my list for this year to finish out. So
I love a book a month. That can allow you to be so effective. I've been in those clubs before, so it's a great way to keep yourself on track and take in information. Yes, yes, and more yes. Okay, thanks, Corey. Who else? No one want to share something
I'll share.
else? All right, Kibra.
Hey, you guys, I'm Kibra. So last week, Isa had spoken about being in a season of her femininity. And I'm can be a very aggressive person. I'm a very aggressive coach. I'm a very aggressive friend, whatever. Not in an ugly way or violent way, but just very like powerful, kind of in your face kind of thing. So I tend to feed off of mentors that are like that. My trainers have been that way. You know, they yell at me. It's a very boot camp style, military style thing. So I was like, I'm not going to get anything from people who are more low key, calm, chill, whatever. And so I was listening to Isa and I was like, okay, let me try it. And then somebody suggested Jim Rohn, and I was like, I don't like his style. So what I did was I went and I purposely listened to people who I have said no to before. Because I was like, I don't like their style. They're not heavy enough for me. They're not loud enough for me. And I was actually like, wow, if I would just stop being so close-minded and allow myself to listen to the words that they're saying and not judge how they're saying it, I actually received information and that was beneficial to me. So I was like, see, you know, getting those suggestions from other people and allowing yourself to like, you know, be more open-minded to who mentors might look like for you that you can benefit from, you really do receive the blessing from that. So I was glad Isa said that. I was glad I kind of resisted it because it made me take action on that. And so yeah, that was my takeaway from last week. And I'm really glad that I was on that call.
Yes, I love that too, Kibra. With that feminine energy is strong. So it's good to piggyback on some of those things and definitely take away from what other people are bringing to the table. Looks like Miss Amy is getting ready to jump into the mix. Hey girl, hey.
Hey, I just got to say the same thing, Kibra. Like, that's so funny because it was like a year and a half ago, I started listening to a mentor who's like probably one of the #1 women in network marketing industry right now. And she is completely like opposite my personality, but it was in a time where I was trying to like create a more well-rounded self because I knew that I needed to break into that louder, more bold self. And she was just that. And it was kind of funny because the people that knew me, that knew I was listening to this person, was like, of all people, you're letting her beat you up all day long? And I'm like, yeah, she's kicking my butt. Like, she's yelling at me. And I wasn't used to that. I was the Jim Rohn fan. I'm the person that's like, oh, all the heart, all the feels. And this girl's like, for pow. And I'm like, after she mentored me through her podcast, it broke barriers for me. It really took me to the next level and made me step out of my comfort zone. And I appreciated that so much. So yes to that. Opposite.
Yes. Love that, Amy. And that face that you made in the midst of it all, that part. Okay, that was my favorite part. Okay, love it. All right. Well, then anybody identify any new mentors during their process. I know Amy just said that she did. Exactly. Pow, that was awesome. But anybody new that they started, checking out that maybe would have been different from, what they would have done in the past?
Hey, I'll speak quick.
Sure.
Hey, sorry, my dogs are fighting behind me, but I think to piggyback on Amy, I think it's equally important as we identify new mentors, as we look to grow the business and meet people where they're at. Not every mentor is the right mentor for the other person. So does that make sense? This person just made Amy grow, right? Pushed her, not her style. That's my style, not Amy's style. But then I equally have to go back and say, hey, I may need to have a mentor. I may need somebody to soften me a little or bring me to a different level, because everyone I come across isn't like me, right? So it's to meet people where they're at. I think it's equally important that we identify that in our mentors. And then the last thing is, as we talk about mentors, I always think of too, mentors are great, but there has to be a level of accountability. So to hope that our mentors are also keeping us accountable and helping us with that as we grow and learn the business.
All right. Powerful takeaways there. Thank you so much, Addie. I know for me, this particular week, I kind of stepped outside of my box with mentors. I want to be able to grow, no doubt, within the business, but at the same time, I know I can be very serious and very focused on what I'm doing and not spend as much time, I think, in the areas of self-care or laughing or doing things that are just fun sometimes. So I actually put Kevin Hart down as one of my mentors for this particular season, because his audio book, The Decision, just cracks me up. It's so much information based on what you already know about success principles, but there's so much laughter and joking in it. It's like a comedy show at the same time that it's something that's kind of pushing you. A little vulgar at times, but I can take it. I really just enjoyed listening to that this past week. I also jumped on Gabrielle Union because she has an audio book out that I really want to listen to for some reason. I got on her Instagram page and she became one of my vacation mentors. She takes some bomb vacations when I look at, what her and Dwayne Wade are doing. So I'm like, okay, those are vacation goals. I need to go to all of those places that she's been to. So, they became some new people for me to explore and get to know a little bit more. Yes, vacation goal. Exactly. Anybody else want to add in terms of what they picked up from the exercise?
I keep trying to look for people that I know,
Oh,
and I'm not even thinking outside the box, like people that have really inspirational podcasts and books. So this is really helpful to me.
Oh, good, Barb. I love that. What were you getting ready to say, Tanya?
I was just like, sometimes with this homework, right, we can overthink it. And I sometimes call myself, I'm like that elementary school kid that I abide so much by the rules, like give me all the stuff to do and then I stay within that box. And I did that with the mentors. And then you're over here like, I have a mentor for laughing and self-care and one for vacations. That's so good. Like I would have never thought of that. I would have kept it so structured for business and money and family. And I just love that you said that. That's so good.
Yeah, I mean, I love Kevin Hart in terms of his comedy. And so I've seen his audiobooks. I'm like, I'm not going to get these. I know how silly these are going to be. And then I just ventured out there and decided to try it. And I mean, I was just dying the whole time, but I am a big fan of the way he presents information. So, he can be an acquired taste at times. But yeah, I like to venture outside of the norm. Okay, good stuff. Anybody else?
I'd like to add something, Akili, just that how many of you perhaps weren't attracted to someone's personality, but you like their message, right? And you're like, okay, I'm learning from this. But then someone shows up in your life that perhaps is a prospect or someone that could be of great value to your team. And you're like, cool, here's that personality showing up for me. And so I think at times this is a learning experience through and through, whether or not we're taking their advice and their teachings or whatnot, or just learning of how to better ourselves to be able to interact with other personalities, because that's the beauty of this business, is not everyone is like us, and sometimes it's the hardest part of the business and sometimes it's the best part. So anyway, and I just wanted to add something. There's someone on this call that we were chatting at the pool, and I looked at her and her husband as relationship goals, and we had the best conversation about, like, look, we have been through it, right? And so I think it's important, you guys, just to remember that we can learn something from everything, and even through people's struggles and challenges. And it made me love this person even more, because I'm like, oh gosh, you're not perfect. So anyway, you guys are all adding such great value here. Thank you. Thank you. This is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Isa, for sharing that. All right, good deal. Well, like I said, we can keep it going. I'd love to hear what more people have to say and what you guys are really taking away from what we're doing tonight. Span of control. Okay. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. I have always been a fan of, is it Eric Worre? The E, you do pronounce it at the end? Okay. Okay. So Eric Worre, I've always been a fan of. He reminds me, it takes me back a little bit. Yes, GoPro. He reminds me a little bit of old school, if you will, when I think about the network marketing business. I just started listening to his podcast again, and it's really good to hear from people who are in the top in the business and all sorts of different businesses. So I loved being able to pick that up. And I did join the Facebook group. So the most powerful women in network marketing. Yes, is that what it is? Okay, I joined that and see all kinds of you guys in there as well. So that's good to be amongst great people. And then I also found a gentleman by the name of Zach Spear, who has been teaching me a whole lot about the use of technology in network marketing and trying to bring it to 2021. So I love a lot of the components in terms of what he talks about. He says, there's about 20,000 people every day on Google searching, how can I start a home-based business? What if you could get in front of those people? Wouldn't that be something interesting to do? So, but yeah, love what I've been learning through just looking, and learning. Good stuff. Okay. Anyone else before we get ready to, looks like, call it a close? You guys must want to get ready and eat some Impossible burgers or something this evening. I'm here for it. I'm getting ready to make some for my family. That's what we're doing. It's about to go down. No, Bueller. Okay. Well, you know what, Pose? It looks like we might be able to shut this down. I guess everybody's ready to end it. What's the Impossible burger? Oh boy. It's probably a bunch of pea protein and beet juice or something, but it's a vegan burger meat substitute. And I'm about to put barbecue sauce in mine and onions and different things so we can make it as fantastic as possible for the kids and such. Yes. Fantastic. Yes.
So, right, Tanya? Well, you guys, let's give Akili a huge round of applause and massive gratitude for leading us tonight. Oh my gosh, you are absolutely incredible. And your voice, it's just so true. I think we could all listen to it all night. Just like, keep talking to us. Just keep talking. We appreciate you saying yes. That's one of the things that we've been taught from the very beginning. If somebody asks you to do something, scary as it is, you have to say yes, right? Because that's how we grow and just borrow the belief of others within yourself. But Thank you, thank you, thank you. Susie is going to put the homework, the life work up in one person. We're going to have it into the guides, so you guys can go there, grab this coming week's life work, get that done. I find that if I focus on it right away or as soon as possible, it really helps lead in for the rest of the week of just being focused. And I just love how you've heard the saying, where focus goes, energy flows. So it just is so cool what attracts and what things come and how it works and how you hear things differently too, right? It's just so fun. And we have 2 days left. We have a few hours left tonight, and then tomorrow is the end of the month. So Performance Club 5 for 5, and just go out and bless people. And you guys, let's just keep pouring out the prayers for everybody in Louisiana and everybody else that's being hit by tornadoes and weather. It's here in Sioux Falls. It's storming, and it sounded like Leslie has power out. So let's just pray for the world. The world needs a lot of prayers right now. So be sure to pour your light and your love into everybody that you see every day and touch, whether it's in person or on social media or on phone calls and texts. And we just love you to pieces. Okay, look at Leslie and Bill. They're without power. All right. Bless you all, and we'll see you soon. Okay, good night. Love you.